Hey there, I'm Mark, and I love Maryland Heights. And part of the reason why I love Maryland Heights is somebody that I am delighted to share with you today. Her name is Cindy Goodnetter. So, Cindy, thank you for being a part of Why I Love Maryland Heights, and welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Pastor. And I have really enjoyed being in Maryland Heights for 20 years. We have a gathering place, massage therapy school and clinic, and it is just a joy to be able to serve the community.
I love massages. Massages are a great way to get rid of stress, just to breathe, relax, because there's so many stressful things, and I carry some stress up in my shoulders. And then as a weightlifter, sometimes I will tweak something, and I have loved that you've been a part of our community. I know you're at a different location now.
Yes, we're just past the Westport area on Lackland Road, that intersection of Lackland and Craig, a little bit west of Craig. And we have both a school there for the massage therapy and also a clinic so we can help people like you who work out a little too much in this gym or might be sore or might have some pain on a regular basis. That's quite a bit of the audience that we serve, those who need a little tweak from what's going on in their body and need to be relieved of some of the pain they have.
And as a person who's received massages from your clinic, I've got to say it's very therapeutic. The vibe, the energy, the mood, it's not just, hello, welcome, lay on the bench. I'm going to whack your back with a fun noodle for 30 minutes and then bye. You can actually have conversations with Cindy and the students in her school that are there at the clinic. And it's been very nice. It has been very nice to just have you in our community and know where you can get a great massage and stress relief. Okay, so you're here in the Maryland Heights area. And to find Cindy and her students and her colleagues, you just need to look up a gathering place. So how long? I think you said 20 years that you've been in the Maryland Heights area.
20 years in Maryland Heights, 27 years in St. Louis proper. We started with our school in the North County Florissant area and then also in Creve Coeur. And we realized we had students coming from as far south as Pevely, Wentzville, parts of Illinois, and we wanted to be more centrally located. And that's what Maryland Heights gave us, the opportunity to be near major arteries, the roads, interstates, and so we could serve more people that way.
Now, you said you've been in the area of St. Louis for 27 years. So I guess when you were about 8 years old, you moved to the St. Louis area.
Oh, I love your humor. I have been in the profession 37 years, and I am been working at it as an adult. I started in South Florida, and I told my husband at the time, I said, what would it take for us to get back to the Midwest where I grew up? And he said, oh my gosh, I just have one requirement. I said, what's that? He goes, a basement. I said, a basement? Oh my. So it was easy to appeal to him. He loves doing work with his hands, woodworking especially, and we had the vision of coming back to the Midwest where I grew up. And we had property at the time in South and East, of Rolla. And I'd check on it a couple times a year. And that way we could see what Missouri had to offer. And so I teased him and I said, well, let's get closer to that rental property and back to the Midwest. And that was a vision I had back in 1997.
So the reason why we do this podcast, the real goal is Maryland Heights is almost 30,000 people currently. And it's easy to just feel like it's a place you live, a place you work, a place you just drive through. But there's so many wonderful personalities. And so that's what I'm really excited about, to share your personality with the people who live and work and just drive through Maryland Heights. So it's quite a thing for someone to leave South Florida for the Midwest. So whereabout in South Florida did you live?
Oh, I was in the Fort Lauderdale area, and my family is in the Wisconsin area. So I figured Missouri would be a little bit in between, a little closer to them.
How close were you to the beach?
That's a great question, and you're not going to want to hear, but literally at one point, we were on the Intercoastal Waterway, and I could walk over the bridge, and I would be at the beach.
Okay, so just to make sure, because people who are listening to this will probably say, wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
You could just walk over a bridge.
Uh-huh.
And you're at the beach picking up seashells, feeding bread to the seagulls, playing in the water, living a stress-free life.
Stress-free life. I love that image.
Yeah. Did the beach ever get boring for you?
It's an interesting question, Mark, because for us, we got so busy in our lives, we didn't see and appreciate and enjoy the beach. And that was one of the biggest regrets when I look back now. For me now, when I want to go on vacation, I want to go to the beach. I want to just enjoy it and immerse myself in that. And I'm able to go back to Florida now and do that. But it was sad at the time to be so involved in my work and in our lives that we forgot to enjoy and appreciate the beauty that was right there within our reach.
So easy to miss the beauty that's around you. So here in St. Louis, I am from Texas. We are within driving range of a beach, but I'm from Texas. And when you come to St. Louis, you're struck, at least I was struck by all the seasonal changes. Leaves turn brown, and then you get pretty flowers. In San Antonio, Texas, where we're from, we don't really get the seasons. Things are just green, and then they're brown. And somehow you even have to cut the grass in the winter because it just grows brown. So you're even cutting your grass in the winter when it's cold. And then also when it's also brown in the summer because it's so hot and dry, you also have to cut your grass. So when we come here, it's just beautiful. But after a couple of years, I've realized, man, all the pollen and the mold and all these things, but I generally forget to appreciate the beauty. You just notice the negative things. So I would like to have the beach in my future. And I'm hoping our listeners share that, liking the beach. But I think if I lived there, I would stop appreciating it. And I'd think, oh, there's always sand in the car. And, my skin's so itchy from the salt, sort of the way people are. So I appreciate you being in the massage industry because you're allowing people just to kind of decompress, de-stress, and reconnect. And I know something that I talked to you about, that there is an extra grace of a touch, a welcome touch, a gentle touch that just allows a person to be connected, which an AI robot or an automatic foot massager at home is not going to do. It's not going to feel the tightness in the knots. So why do you do massage? You could have done all sorts of things. You could have been a professional roofer.
Oh, I could have been a professional roofer.
Yeah.
Don't like heights. And you've touched on it in a couple different ways today, and I'll just bring it back. Why do we do what we do at a gathering place? Is we want to touch people, body, mind, emotion, and spirit. And what I find is that people come to us and they don't want just the robotic approach to massage. They want someone who can hear their story, who care, somebody who's willing to help them find why there's tension in the same spot each time that they come in and what they can do about it when they're at home in their busy lives. Is it a stretch? Is it just time of quiet? Is it time to sit in nature? What can they do to de-stress, to decompress, to bring it down a notch or two so they can go back to really appreciating why they do life the way they do, why they are able to be with people that they love, family, friends, and be connected to them versus focusing on the pain in their neck or their shoulder or what's going on in their life that's weighing on them, mentally and emotionally that sometimes we say gets stuck in the tissues. So what can we do to help get that out of the tissues, help them feel better about themselves and their lives so they can go back to doing what they do, what they love to do with a little more ease, a little more grace, a little more joy.
It's so easy to feel that you're just a soul driving a robot body or the machine of the body. But when you look at how people are, every person that I've known has been both body and soul together. And if you are a Christian, and I know, Cindy, you are, if you are a Christian, you know that God intends for forever you to have a body and a soul. And so you're not just healing the machine. You're not just a mechanic fixing a car. You're actually healing the soul by resetting the body. So it's an incredible thing to be able to just bottle the stress up, but then release that stress just by feeling better.
I'm glad to hear you speak of it that way, because when I wanted to get into massage and body work, I actually prayed about what can I do so I can integrate my hands and my heart and my purpose for the healing work I wanted to do. Because I had been in the insurance industry actually for 18 years. And I created a prayer that I said every day when I went to school in South Florida. And I said, Infinite Spirit, guide my hands and my heart that they may bring love and healing to those that I touch this day. And that has stayed with me and even has been probably an impetus for the way I teach and the way a gathering place has the ability to bring the curriculum to the students so that the students are immersed in not only what they need to know, anatomy and physiology and pathology and things to help people who are in pain, technique-wise and understanding of the body, but also how can we touch in a way that brings a healing presence, recognizing that it's the healing presence that will help this person on our table, who is the actual healer, God working through our hands to heal their person on all levels of being. How can we hold that space so that they can come back to that oneness, that alignment, that connection with God, that connection with all that they're to be in this life? And so we view it very much as, I have many words going through my mind. It's opportunity, it's grace, it's the ability to be of service, to help someone to come back to wholeness. And for me, that's such a joy.
I think right now there's so much fear and worry about, will a robot take my job? Will AI take it over?
Oh,
And I was talking to somebody at the gym yesterday. I know you said that I go to the gym too much, and I don't think every day is too much. I know you're just poking me, but I was talking to a guy at the gym yesterday, and he was wearing a Marine shirt that said Semper Fi. And I said, have you served? Because this guy looks so young. I thought he has to be in, but he had a hairstyle that a Marine would not have. I had to know what the story was. And so I asked him, and he said his dad was a Marine. And it turned out that his dad died when he was in the 6th grade.
Oh.
And so I said, okay. And he goes, well, I'm in high school. And I said, all right. So I'm assuming senior year. And he said, yeah. So I said, what are the next plans? And he goes, I'm not sure. And I said, well, the military is a good place to just get a career going. And if you love something, you can keep doing it. If otherwise, you can reset. And it's a great thing on the resume and just like life development. And he said, I think I'm going to go in the trades. And I said, oh, that's interesting. Were your mom and dad in the trades? And he said, well, his dad was in construction. And I said, what trade are you interested in? And he said, maybe an electrician. I said, I applaud that. That's a good idea, because a robot might be able to build things in a factory. AI might be able to build things in the factory, but we're probably 30 or 40 years away from AI being able to walk into somebody's house, hear what somebody would like, and then install those can lighting and, whatever it is. For me, I know at some point AI pastors will be more popular because they will say, oh, give me a sermon on feeling happy even though I steal. And then AI pastor will come up with a sermon that'll make them feel happy even though they steal. Where a real pastor would say, well, stealing is getting in the way of your happiness and the way of everybody else's happiness and your relationship with God. So no. I think AI therapists will be somewhat helpful, but there's something different about getting a massage from a person rather than a robot or AI. So as you're training people up to be massage therapists, you're really training them to do a thing like a pastor where it really has to be a person to do great. And I know they've created all sorts of great chairs and automatic foot massages, but they really don't do the job. So when you're talking to your students, are they worried about AI taking their job? Are they worried about robot chairs making them obsolete? Like, what's the conversation inside the massage world?
Interesting question. I would say the students are not at all worried about that. I have had some clients question if they feel my profession will soon be obsolete. And I say, no, I don't think so, because it again is the human touch, the human presence. What I find people really want when they come to see us at a gathering place is they want to feel the compassion of another person who can hear them, who can hold space as they talk about what may be creating tension in their body. Maybe there's something going on in their lives, their household, their family, or a health issue that's triggered. And so I'm not worried that AI or robotics are going to come in and take and replace that which we provide. What I do see is will enhance our profession is greater understanding of the way the immune system is affected by what is going on in the environment or what is going on in the body, and how can we utilize AI? How can we utilize information through the internet to help us understand how to more specifically help this person with this trigger point, or in the future as medicine, I understand, may change to have more specific involvement with resonance, with sound healing. How can we bring that in to utilize in session to help that person, which then will bring their nervous system to a more relaxed place? Because we do know, medicine science tells us that when our nervous system is in that relaxed space, that's when we heal. That's why at night when we sleep, we go into that, we call it parasympathetic nervous system. We go into that rest and that restore mode. And so what can we do to teach people how to bring that into their lives on a daily basis, how to bring that into a massage session, and to find ways that will create new habits so that they can live a more productive life because they're more at peace within body, mind, emotion, and spirit.
And it's amazing how, there are some people who say, I'm just a soul driving the body around some machine. But it's amazing how much chronic pain will determine your mood. So if someone has chronic pain, it tanks their mood. Those hormones floating around the body, like you said, the immune system, those hormones and just the biochemistry of our bloodstream, it just wrecks us in all sorts of ways that we just would like to think do not actually affect us, but they do.
Oh, they do. And it's not just pain. I work with many cancer patients, for instance, and if they're processing what is going on in my body, because my body isn't doing what it used to do, or how do I accept this new normal, or I don't want to be a burden to my family. And sometimes they'll process these things out loud. And in session, we as massage therapists use active listening. We'll listen to the patient, the client on the table. We're not there to give advice, but we're there to hold witness to what they're going through. I love your reference to the idea of a soul and human body form. Yes, sometimes I look at this person who is feeling the different pain that they're feeling, whether it's created physically or whether it's created through something they're processing mentally and emotionally. And I'll go, what can I do to hold space for them so that they can begin to realize they are in charge of how they want to feel and how they can learn to accept what is going on in their body that maybe they have no control over. And how can I help them to accept this new normal and to go about their life in a way that they can be more at peace within and more happy with their situation. And sometimes they'll bring up some really dark emotions. And we're, again, there to listen and to help them feel that they're being heard and that we care. And then they learn to accept themselves through that, because it's perhaps not a journey that they ever guessed they would have to face. And does affect their well-being. It does affect their emotions. And how can we hold that space for them so they can learn to accept themselves and go about their life in a way that'll be productive?
So you have not only a massage clinic in which people can come and get massage therapy, but part of the structure of the community that you have created, a gathering place, is also as a school. What does it take if somebody's thinking about becoming a massage therapist? What does it take to become a massage therapist?
Well, in the state of Missouri, you would need to complete 625 hours of education. And we've set up the school at this stage using hybrid learning, meaning the student can come into the school after having listened to the lectures on very difficult subjects like anatomy and physiology or pathology or business, and they will complete pre-class work. They'll come into the classroom. We'll do a deeper dive with that material, and they can complete this program on a full-time basis in as little as 7 to 9 months. Then they will go and complete the National Massage Licensing Exam and become state licensed. And we help them with this entire process all the way to helping with job placement, or if they want to open their own business. About 42% of our graduates do that. So this program, we have 3 different start dates throughout the year, and they can go and check our website at agatheringplace.com or contact us at 314-739-5559 for more information, for a tour, a catalog, and to talk more about how they can join this exciting career. And there's a great demand right now, a very high demand for licensed massage therapists in the field, because there's many people who are recognizing, they want to have better quality of life, reduce the pain in their life, feel more connected within. And those are all things that massage does, and a massage therapist would be able to help them with.
As a pastor, there's tremendous job security because people always find creative ways to mess up their life and do goofy, dumb things. I imagine as long as people continue to get stressed out, there's job security for massage therapists.
Absolutely. We are in a high demand right now, finding more medical doctors, cancer doctors, cardiologists, pain doctors, and pain clinics are referring to massage therapists because we help to teach the person, the client, the patient, how to be better able to handle manage the stress that they're feeling in their lives. So I for sure see that we're going to be in high demand, and the U.S. labor and job statistics expects in the next 10 years we're going to continue to grow. In fact, growth is expected at roughly 14 to 15%.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when I was much younger, my wife would have migraines every day. So for 3.5 years, she was having migraines. And so we went to go see a neurologist over the course of this time. And he tried all sorts of medicines. He would give her a medicine and would try for one migraine. And then she'd try it the second day, and it would only be about half effective. And then by the third day, it was immune, like nothing would work. And so 2 things that we tried, which was not the medicine big pharma approach, two things that we tried was a food journal in which she found out there's a couple of foods that she's allergic that cause an allergic reaction, and those can cause migraines from anywhere between 1 to 3 weeks. We also found out over the course of this that the medicine was not working. And so we heard that migraines can be treated with chiropractic care, which is like in the world of massage therapy. Instead of here's a medicine, here's a supplement, here's a chemical you can put in, it's just moving the structures of the body and getting things in proper alignment and loosening up dysfunction. So we said this to the neurologist, and he goes, well, once you're done messing with fake science and fake medicine, you can go ahead and come on back and we'll start off right where we left off, or maybe start all over again.
Oh, my.
And I looked at this old man, and I had a much less control of my temper then than I did now. And I thought, this old man needs a punch in the face. He did not get a punch in the face. And we never went back to him because medicine and health is not just what medicines are you taking and what medicines are you taking to take care of the side effects of the other medicines you're taking, but physical manipulation and freeing up of tension. And, this is the whole world of chiropractic care, a good chiropractor, massage therapy, a good massage therapist, also physical therapy, good physical therapists. Of course, there's bad in all these professions. There's even bad pastors, right? There's even bad asphalt layers on the roads, right? Some roads are laid well and some aren't. But there's definitely a resurgence in people's willingness and even medical doctors' willingness to acknowledge that there can be physical triggers for problems and physical solutions instead of just, here's this drug trial we're hoping is going to work. So I'm really excited to hear that people are, including doctors, are saying, hey, massage therapy is a good thing. Go do this. It's helpful. So what would you say if a person is getting a massage? What would you say would be the win? That all their symptoms are better, they grew 3 inches overnight, and their chronic pain is all better? Like, what would be progress?
Well, before answering that question, I'm just going to speak to your story. And we, as massage therapists, work very well with chiropractors. And we have come to realize that if the bones are misaligned, that can create tension. If the soft tissue is pulling on the bones, and that creates pressure on spinal nerves, etc., that can create pain. So there are many chiropractors who refer their patients to see us. And similarly, we refer many of our clients to see chiropractors for care in that area. These two professions work very well together. We've also seen a tremendous change in the mindset of the medical profession, medical community of doctors. When I first started with massage, a cancer doctor, an oncologist would be a little bit reticent to refer their patient to massage. Nowadays, we're finding that traditional medicine works very uniquely hand in hand with massage. And we're coming to have a greater understanding of what it takes to help the person to feel better, maybe more than just pushing pills, and that we need to find out those triggers that may be precipitating a problem. So with each patient that comes in, with each client that comes in, and I use those words interchangeably because I can have someone who can be a mutual patient of myself and a chiropractor, or myself and a pain doctor. We'll come in and we will create a designed individual program to help them with what their needs are. I have had patients get off my table and go, wow, I am pain-free. And they will walk out of my door and we'll set up another appointment for maybe a month out. And they may come back and go, that session that we had lasted 2.5, 3 weeks, or that full month. Sometimes they will retrain their body with greater frequency of massage sessions so that they can be able to hold what is being done by ourselves or in conjunction with another, we'll call it chiropractor in this case, or physical therapist. So we work in conjunction with these other professions to help the person, and each person, we set up our own treatment plan, individual and unique to that person who is sitting with us.
And I'm not telling people stop taking your pain medicine now. I'm saying if, like you had said, if the bones are not aligned in the right way, or there's scar tissue that can be freed between muscles, tendons, ligaments, whatever's on the insides, if those structures can be loosened up or just set free or realigned, you're just going to need less pain medicine. You're just going to feel better, and you're preventing it from getting worse. Because if something is not lined up well, everything else has to accommodate. Then other things are misaligned. So Cindy, one thing that I wanted to pick your brain about especially as people watch the news right now in the political world. Everything is so us versus them. Whoever them is, we don't like them at all. They're not like us. And us only lasts as long as we don't ask each other questions, because then people find something that divides them and then they don't like us anymore. And then part of us is them. And it's just nasty. Whether you pay attention to the political world or you are very up on social media, by meaning you're on Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat or Twitter 5 hours a day, it's easy to get very stressed out and very wrapped up. So one thing that I've been consistently impressed by you, Cindy, is you are very grounded. You are very grounded. Whether I'm sharing something that I'm going through, you're sharing something that you're dealing with. And one time, I was very impressed by this. You were in a location and you said you were so excited that another person in that same location had an abundance of business and need that they needed some of the space that we were filling. And I thought if anybody else was telling that story, they would say the jerks next door renegotiated their contract and that took some of our space. So our space got smaller. And I was thinking, I am so impressed that here, this incredible woman who is an entrepreneur extraordinaire in your own right, you tell the story to the benefit of the other sides. And I thought, only if someone is really listening closely would they say, wait a second, that's not how I would have perceived that. So Cindy, just sort of open mic, how do you stay grounded, whether things are great or not going the way that you would like them to go?
One, thank you again for that acknowledgement of me. I appreciate you reflecting back to me what you see in me. I'm touched by that. I'd say on a daily basis, I'm going to look at how do I feel. There may be days that things are really kind of awful, with somebody I love or with myself. And I'll go, okay, that is how I feel. And I have a busy day in front of me. What do I need to do to move into the space to hold for the person who's coming in next, whether it's a student or whether it's a client? Because the reason that I'm here to serve is to meet their needs, to hold space for them, to do what's going to help them feel better. So I take time each day to appreciate aspects of nature, to have time in prayer, to have time of quiet, to have time where I get to listen to myself. When I'm in my, I feel fabulous, that's great. Or if I feel a little bit down or something isn't going right, it's like, okay, what do I need to do to shift this up, to change it a little bit so it can be more of what I would like it to be? And some days I'm just not able to change what's happening and it's not what I would consider ideal. So I do go back to prayer and I'll go, okay, God, help me see this from your perspective. Or what am I not seeing that if I saw it, I would do the next right thing to create a better situation for myself and for all the stakeholders, all the people that I'm responsible for. And some days it's awfully quiet on the other side. And so that's when I know, okay, God, you must be working on something even better than what's happening now. Give me the patience or give me the trust or help me just to believe that I'm doing the right thing because I'm not hearing that I need to shift and do something different. So I'll just do the next right thing till I get that little nudge to change up what I'm doing. And I'm actually in a little time of darkness or quietness or, it's not as, here's the next right thing we want you to do, Cindy. I'm kind of in hold or pause right now. And I have to tell you, Mark, I don't like that feeling at all. But it's what can I do to stay in the present moment, to keep breathing and taking care of me as best I can so I can be present to those that I have the opportunity to serve. And so I can do the next right thing. And I listen. And each night before I go to bed, I'll go, okay, God, you still know that thing I mentioned earlier today? I'm still hoping for a little more information on that, but I'll keep doing what I'm doing till I get the nudge that I need to shift that up.
As a listener, whether you are a person of faith or not, Christian or other, part of our history as just humanity is a guy named Nehemiah. His job was to come back after the people of Israel had been so naughty that God cleared him out of Israel. And he brought him back as promised, but they're rebuilding Jerusalem, the temple, and all these things. And Nehemiah was in charge of that. One of the things every so often in the book of Nehemiah, which is in the Old Testament, is he says, remember, God, the good that I have done. And it's interesting because he's just sort of doing that next right thing. Now, every so often, Ezra or somebody would share a word from God, but often God's pretty quiet. My theory is God wants to communicate with us all the time. But if he really kind of broke that veil of silence, it would spoil us rotten and it would ruin us. So, for example, if I'm on my way to across the river and I want to know the best route, and I said, God, I don't have time for traffic, just what would be the best route? And he goes, here you go, Mark. And he gives me that route. The next time I'm going somewhere and I'm like, okay, God, God, well, I'm driving to the grocery store and I sure don't really have time for traffic. What would be the best route or what would be the best time? And if he doesn't answer, I'm going to be mad, especially if I'm sitting in traffic. Why did you help me that other time, God? Don't you know how important this time is? Or if I do something dumb in the gym and I get injured and I say, God, please heal me. And he does. And then the next time I do something stupid in the gym and I get injured and I say, God, please heal me. And he doesn't. I'm going to be mad at God because he could heal it. He healed something before. And so it would spoil me. And so a lot of times in life, it is quiet from heaven. It is quiet from God because to God's greatest sadness, I think, as I kind of think through things, he would love to just kiss the boo-boo and make it better, but it would spoil us. It would spoil us. And so a lot of life is just what is the next right thing? And I'm going to keep doing the next right thing until something very obvious says go in this other direction. But if whatever that other direction is not good, well, don't do that because that's coming from somewhere else. So I appreciate that. Just do that next right thing. Well, I appreciate you being so open and sharing that. Right now is not the most jovial time in your life. But Cindy, we're praying for you. And listener, if you're a person of faith, please pray for Cindy. Pray for all of us here in Maryland Heights because a lot of things going on that we don't know about. A lot of things going on in each of our lives that each of us don't know about. And like Cindy, I encourage you, whatever the next right thing is, be busy doing that and let the big stuff, the chaotic stuff that's outside of your control, just let somebody else deal with that or leave it in the hands of God. So Miss Cindy, as we finish up, just to help our community see how wonderful our community is here in Maryland Heights, you've got 2 locations. One of those is in Maryland Heights, and you've been in Maryland Heights for 20 years. And this is a massage clinic, so people can come and get massages from you.
Yes.
And your students.
And we also have a massage school all in one.
Awesome.
And they can check our website at www.agatheringplace.com or give us a call at 314-739-5559.
And you can also give gift certificates for massages to people. I'm the kind of person that just keeps kind of suffering through, whether the shoes are old or not. And somebody buys me a pair of new shoes, it just feels good to have that on there. So this is a great gift idea. Probably ask them first before you buy them a gift certificate to become a massage therapist, because that would be a big investment. It's just like, hey, here's a gift certificate. You can go to massage therapy school. But definitely consider getting a massage. And when Cindy is your massage therapist, she's praying for you and praying for your health and your wellness and your wholeness. And a lot of your students do the same. I know you have shared with me.
Absolutely.
So Cindy, thank you for being a part of Maryland Heights, and thank you for being a part of why I love Maryland Heights.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak today. And like you, I love Maryland Heights too.